What if I told you? Crypto might not replace Wall Street. It might merge with it. Imagine earning yield from U.S. Treasury-backed assets. On the blockchain. No bank. No traditional broker. No waiting. Sounds crazy? Well, one project is trying to make that future real. And some investors believe it could become one of the biggest winners in crypto's next phase. Its name? Ondo Finance. Ticker symbol. Ondo. But here's the real question. Is Ondo building the future of finance? Or is this just another overhyped crypto narrative? Let's break it down. What is Ondo Finance? Okay, let's simplify this. Because Ondo can sound confusing at first. At its core, Ondo Finance is trying to bring real-world assets onto the blockchain, also called RWAs. And this narrative? It's getting huge. Here's the idea. Traditional finance has trillions of dollars sitting in assets like U.S. Treasuries, bonds, money market funds, stocks, institutional products. But normal crypto users usually can't access these things easily, especially through decentralized systems. Ondo wants to change that. Instead of keeping traditional financial products trapped inside old banking systems, Ondo wants to tokenize them, meaning turn real financial assets into blockchain-based products so people can access them faster, trade them globally, and potentially earn yield more efficiently. Think of it like this. Imagine Wall Street and crypto had a baby. That's basically the vision Ondo is chasing. And that's why some investors are paying very close attention. Because if tokenized finance becomes mainstream, projects like Ondo could be in the perfect position. Why are people talking about RWAs? Let's talk about the bigger trend. Because Ondo isn't moving in isolation. The crypto market changes in cycles. Sometimes it's DeFi, sometimes NFTs, sometimes meme coins, then AI. But lately, many big institutions are becoming interested in something different. Real-world assets. Why? Simple. Crypto can be volatile, really volatile. Prices swing hard. And many investors want something more stable, something tied to real value. That's where tokenized treasuries come in. Imagine earning yield backed by short-term U.S. government debt, but through blockchain rails. Faster access, more transparency, potentially global availability. This idea is becoming increasingly attractive, especially in a world where interest rates matter again. And this is exactly where Ondo enters the story. Instead of chasing hype, they're trying to connect crypto with real financial infrastructure. That's a much bigger ambition, and potentially a much bigger opportunity. How does Ondo actually work? So, what does Ondo actually do? One of Ondo's main goals is offering tokenized financial products. Think blockchain versions of traditional investments. For example, products connected to U.S. Treasury yields. This matters because in crypto, many yields can feel risky, sometimes suspicious, sometimes unsustainable. You've probably seen those crazy promises before. Earn 1,000% APY. Yeah, that usually ends badly. Ondo is trying to take a different approach. A more institutional approach, more serious, more regulated, more connected to traditional financial systems. And this is one reason institutions are watching closely. Because crypto infrastructure is improving, regulations are slowly evolving, and tokenized assets could become a massive sector. Some analysts even believe tokenized assets could eventually grow into a multi-trillion-dollar market. If that happens, Ondo could benefit massively. But there's still a big catch. And we'll get to that in a minute. What makes Ondo different? Here's where things get interesting. Because Ondo isn't trying to be just another blockchain. It's not competing directly with Ethereum, or Solana, or Avalanche. Instead, Ondo is focused on a very specific niche, tokenized finance. And niche winners can become huge, especially if they dominate early. Another thing investors like? The institutional angle. Ondo looks much more Wall Street friendly compared to many crypto projects. Professional branding, real financial products, a focus on compliance. That matters because large money, institutional money, usually doesn't jump into chaos. They want structure, security, clear rules, and Ondo appears to understand that. There's also growing momentum around tokenized treasury products. More serious investors are entering crypto, not just speculators, people looking for yield, stability, and safer exposure. That could work in Ondo's favor. The risks nobody talks about. But hold on, because this isn't all upside. Ondo has real risks too. First, regulation. Big one. When you mix crypto and traditional finance, governments pay attention fast, especially when financial products are involved. If regulators become aggressive, growth could slow down. Second, competition. Ondo isn't alone. Big financial institutions are exploring tokenization too, and massive companies have resources Ondo can't match. Third, adoption risk. Just because tokenized assets sound exciting doesn't mean people will use them at scale. A lot of crypto ideas sound revolutionary. Few actually go mainstream. And finally, crypto volatility. Even good projects can crash hard. Narratives change. Market sentiment shifts. Hype disappears. So investors should always remember, big opportunity usually comes with big risk. Is Ondo Finance the future? So here's the real question. Is Ondo Finance quietly building the bridge between Wall Street and crypto? Or is Ondo simply benefiting from the latest hot narrative? Real-world assets, institutional appeal, a serious mission, huge potential, but also heavy regulation, growing competition, and major uncertainty. One thing is clear though, the idea of putting real financial assets on-chain, that trend is probably not going away anytime soon. And if tokenized finance truly becomes the future, Ondo could end up being one of the biggest names in the space. Or it could struggle to stand out in a rapidly evolving market. Only time will tell. But what do you think? Is Ondo massively underrated? Or just another crypto trend? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy deep dives into crypto, investing, and emerging technology, make sure to hit subscribe, because the next big opportunity might already be hiding in plain sight. See you in the next one.